And as I built this model, I'm an architect, so I started using a scale, and I did not realize this until I started measuring this out. The base of these pillars are 2 feet wide. The length of these paths are 27 feet long, and the height of this heart is 12 feet high, which is the day. That being said, obviously I spent a lot of time with the family, and was at the wake and the funeral. And while we got in the car for the procession, and even before that, I was completely struck by the outpouring of support that this community and matter of fact, the nation had for this event. And I kept seeing this symbol of this, heartbeat, and one heartbeat, forever in our hearts. And as we were driving in that procession from Eastlake to Chardon, I vividly remember families standing out on the street in the freezing cold with their children, holding up a heart like this, supporting these. I thought to myself, there needs to be some kind of representation, some kind of memorial to show the outpouring of support that this community, this nation had for this event. Something like this. I envisioned 3 separate paths. One for Danny, one for Demetrius, and one for Russell. And each one of those paths would be made up of stones. 16 stones, 16 stones, and 17 stones. One for each year of their life. And as those paths moved along the ground, at a moment in time, they would rise up, and they would form 3 pillars, pillars of life, I call them. And on those pillars, as they rise, there would be an inscription and an image of each one of their lives. As those pillars continue to rise out of the ground, those 3 lives, those 3 pillars would come together. And at that moment in time of the tragedy, they would come together and burst out overhead into a heart. And that heart would be very humble and would kind of bow. So as you stand at this memorial, you would be able to look through that heart that symbolized this whole outpouring of love. Look through that heart to the heavens. And that heart would represent the 3 lives that were so tragically lost, and how they all came together at that moment to bring out the best in all of us. And behind that would be a stone wall, a tapered stone wall that would be curved and kind of hug that memorial. That stone wall would have an inscription of the other victims, the people who were involved, the history of that day. And that, like I say, that stone wall would hug this memorial. And out in front would be 2 stone benches that would allow you to sit there and reflect upon that day and that event and that outpouring of support. Pillars move across that back wall that's hugging that memorial. The sun would then come up overhead, and as it would begin to set, the shape of that heart would cast a shadow across the 3 paths. So with that, I